All right, well, before we get to the Oscars, we're bringing up one of our brand new segments here on the show. We have many of them planned, and they're going to come sporadically when we feel that they need to be showcased, highlighted, talked about. And tonight we don't have an image. We got a little too busy to make an image.
You didn't go into, you could have told me. I could have gone to MSP.
Didn't make an image.
We could have had a Jill original paint.
Wow.
That didn't get an image made for it, but this little segment is called Here's Your Soapbox. And I'm sure all of us have heard of what a soapbox is. We pretty much highlight or talk about something that is extremely annoying, frustrating, angering us, etc. It could be something really dumb or something really valid. And tonight, it's a little bit of both, but also very much dumb. Very much dumb. We're talking spoilers tonight because spoiler discussions and spoiler talk is a big deal in our community, obviously. When you can talk about things, how you can talk about things, if you should check to see if people have seen something or know about things before it is said. And so we decided, why not talk about it? Because full disclosure here, anybody who's watching who may have watched last night, I got something very, very, very big spoiled for me in a little show that is currently, well, not currently on, but was just on, about the second game, per se. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about, please do not reveal names in the chat. Don't say anything about it.
Too late.
The Last of Us 2 was spoiled for me yesterday, and I knew nothing about this game. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I have gone in with complete blank mind. I didn't play the games. I was watching the story unfold as it went along, and out of nowhere, a very big moment in the second game was completely spoiled for me. I know nothing about what is happening. I knew nothing what is about happening. Excuse me. My Siri is going off, so hold on one sec. Stupid computer.
They're interrupting your soapbox moment. How dare.
Go away, Siri.
Go away, Siri.
Hold on. Jesus.
Don't say her name.
You got to be nice to her, though, so when she takes over the world, that she knows.
I can't wait for him to finish so I can then...
There we go. Okay, the Siri is gone. I don't know what
I can't wait
pops up
for
every
you to-
once in a while.
I can't wait for you to finish so then I can now say what it was like watching this happen.
Should I reveal what exactly I'm talking about? What was spoiled?
No,
I mean,
don't
exactly.
No.
Because
Okay.
then you'll spoil it.
Okay.
Just allude to what you were saying.
So the conversation was just happening, right? And I understand the argument of the game's been out for 10 years. Like, I get it. But games aren't like movies or television.
No.
It's very, very different.
Yeah.
There are games from 20, 30 years, the entire lifetime of video games that I've never played that I'll never play, and you shouldn't spoil for people if they eventually want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know if someone has either played a game or will ever play a game. It can be something that was 6 months ago. It could be something that was 10 years ago. And especially in the case that right now where that game is being adapted to television, you don't talk fucking spoilers.
There's so many people that haven't played the game that are currently watching the show. Millions of people are watching the show.
Yeah.
You don't talk fucking spoilers about something that is about to happen at some point in the show.
It would basically be like, because Sean read all of the Game of Thrones books, so it'd be like him talking about Game of Thrones plot points while the show is happening when that hasn't happened. Like, it's the same thing. It's like, yes, so what the books have been around, or like, doesn't mean everyone's read it. Doesn't mean like,
yeah. And just to kind of give a little background, and these three can attest to it, I didn't watch the finale for like 4 hours last night.
Yeah,
I was so mad. Like, it completely turned me off to even watching the show because of what I had learned. And it's not because I'm mad of what I had learned, but like, I now know what's going to happen.
It didn't make it you didn't have that suspenseful feeling of what's going to happen.
It ruins the experience for people who are watching it. And like, I get it. Like, the game's been out for 10 years, but you never know who knows what and doesn't know another thing. And like, the argument of it's been out for 10 years, it's a well-known thing. I'm sorry, but that's stupid. That's really, really stupid.
It's not.
This isn't a movie. This isn't a movie universe. This isn't a 7 seasons worth of television. This
No.
is they're 2 games, 2
Yeah.
video games that were like dropped within 7-8 years of each other. One was 10 years ago, one was 5, whatever. Like, it's different from a movie or television. Like, you should never reveal something without making sure that people don't know, especially something this fucking big. Like, I'm not kidding you. And the problem, and I was telling these guys before this, like, we started, because of it now, because it was like, and I know that people are watching, etc. But
Whatever.
all my fucking TikTok is those specific scenes because of it.
Yeah.
Because of, like, I know that, like, the phone listens and everything, but it is all, and I'm trying my best to stay off of it, but at some point, like, I just feel like it's going to be inevitable because the show's not going to happen for 2 years. We're not going to see it for a long time, but now I know, and it's just like, it ruins the experience because I'm going to be going into the show just thinking about it the entire time. Entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and like, I get, like, when like an MCU movie comes out and people are like, don't go on Twitter because it'll be, it'll be spoiled. So like, it's a little bit easier to avoid social media. But when you are in the presence of people and you're hanging out, not even looking on social media, and someone decides to go, oh, by the way, XYZ insert important plot point that hasn't been revealed yet. Like,
yeah.
Fuck, dude.
When you first told us in the chat, I thought you meant someone had spoiled what was going to happen in the finale, which I thought was bad. But what you actually got spoiled on
was worse.
From something that, they're probably not going to have happen on the show for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worse.
And I know that it's like a selfish thing of like, but now I think about like, well, I was just thinking about how fun it was doing like our reviews where I knew nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know one of the biggest things.
To be fair,
I know it's not the biggest. I know it's not.
I know.
I know there's a lot that happens. I get it. But like, to me right now, where I'm currently at with the show and story, it is the biggest thing that I could think about happening.
100%. And so this thing was, so now you are on the same level playing field that I am. So like, when we were doing our reviews, they knew everything. I knew this one thing. You knew nothing. So now you and I are on the same playing field. So I know like how it is. I will say, I know you don't care, but it is still just as enjoyable. But obviously I know, trust me, I know exactly, because I mean, it's the same thing that it's like, just because I know and read
it's
Marvel
a different
comic,
you're seeing it from a different perspective now from what you were originally seeing it from.
But
which,
it's very much the same thing.
But it's like, I'm seeing it through a different lens now, a lens that I did not want to be seeing it from. Like,
So I mean, it's the same. It's definitely, I mean, I wouldn't go around because I've seen or not seen, read events in Marvel's comics. I'm not going to go around being like, oh, this happened in the comic books this way because it happened 30 years ago. It's still like the biggest part in that comic. That's like,
and not everyone reads the comics.
Exactly. So, So can I replay how it went down? Cause it was,
just be nice about it.
Yes. No. So I'm sitting there stuffing my face with pizza in the kitchen. Jake's standing next to me.
Correct.
And it was so casual too. That was the worst part, I think, was our friends just sitting there and just says this.
So it wasn't even like you guys weren't even having a conversation about it.
No, he was having a conversation with someone else, and I was standing off to the side by Brian.
Got it.
And
it was because they were talking
openly said it.
Well, they were talking about how like we should switch back and forth between commercials. And then it was just like, I wonder how this is going to happen. And it was like,
oh God.
So I'm sitting there with like pizza in my mouth and I'm like,
and Brian knows how important like that stuff is to me.
Yeah.
Like, I know
And-
some people don't care about spoilers. Like, I get it. Like, just before this, we were doing a Patreon call, and everybody on our Patreon call is like, "Yeah, spoil Scream 6, whatever. Just talk about it." To me, like, I hold
things that
So,
I hold
wait,
spoilers
wait.
so sacred, and
Yeah.
this isn't everything.
Wait, I was going to
Sorry,
go
go
into
ahead.
this.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So I knew immediately, like, I was like, oh no. Like that, I was praying to myself going, please tell me he didn't hear that. Please tell me. And he obviously did. But if there's one thing I know about him, there's probably about 3 things that you can really do to piss him off. Talk bad about his family, talk bad about his friends, and spoil movies and TV for him. Those are like the 3
Valid.
Those are like the 3 sacred things that, like, as if I made a rule book like of Jake, those are probably the top 3.
Valid.
And so,
valid
like,
things to get upset about.
Yeah, 100%. Because, like, you know, there's certain things that are sacred to certain people, like that you wouldn't want someone to just ruin. And
Yeah.
for you, one of your favorite outlets and enjoying things in life is movies and getting to experience these experiences. So for me, so this happens, and I don't know if it was divine intervention or what, but like within 10 seconds of it being spoiled, Gabby walks in the front door and comes back. And so I was like, thank the gods.
Perfect
like,
timing.
Yes. I was like, go give him a hug.
Oh.
And stuff. And she's like, I was just like, I don't know. But I felt so bad.
Yeah, that's so
like I said, there's one thing I know about you is like how much like these types of things would how much they upset you, like that.
Well, and it was just kind of like
it was so casual,
kind of like, and I don't know if I would have gotten as frustrated if I had gotten the response of like, it's not that big of a deal. Like,
you tried to brushing it aside.
Yeah. Like, you don't know how big of a deal it is to one person or another.
Did he apologize?
Yeah.
He did late over text. Yeah, he did over text messages. So, it just, I don't know. I don't know. It's just very frustrating.
I think
it's very frustrating. Like this is like, to me, and I know that it doesn't mean as much to everybody else, but this is like learning that like Jon Snow is a Targaryen, or that like that level of like stuff that's secret, like top secret stuff
that you just,
like, that's how big it is. Game of Thrones has been out forever, you know. So.
Yeah, but you can make the same argument.
Well, we made the argument about movies and TV. We made the argument about movies and television.
It's different than a video game. It's more.
I say anything is, to be honest, anything that's shocking in any form of media.
I agree, and I kind of wanted to ask the question and you know, I'll step back off the soapbox because that's how we do it.
Keep your soapbox, dude.
I just wanted to ask the question of like, what is the time frame? Is there a criteria to spoil, or what is personal views on when you can talk spoilers, how you can talk spoilers, etc.? Because it's obviously a very fickle business.
My thing for me is if it is something that, as a freaking ginormous truck goes by, if it is something that could potentially like be shocking or like a big thing, I just personally, I don't want to know, and I don't want to say it, because for example, like I've read the Secret Wars comic books a lot. Like I know how that goes back and forth, and one of them's been out for almost 50 plus years. I'm still not going to say what happens on this, like, or something that would happen. That's just I don't personally care about the art form, the media that it's on. It's more or less, if it's something that I more look at it as, if it's something I would be pissed off knowing, then I'm not going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally how I would look at it, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and it doesn't hurt to just literally be like, spoiler.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, when it comes to a video game, and especially one that's being adapted into like mainstream media, if I was talking about, say, for example, if they decided to make like a Kingdom Hearts adaptation into a television series, that game's been out for 20 years. It's my favorite game of all time. I'm not gonna go and be like, I wonder how they're gonna do. Like, I would be like, has everyone here played the game before I say something about it? If not, I'll be like, oh, there's some cool stuff that happens. I'm curious to see like how it goes. Like, I'm not going to give like, plot points. But when it comes to like spoilers, obviously social media is going to be like
This is more in person to me. And I wanted to talk about, because like Tim brought it up about like the whole in like fair game online. Online's a different story.
Online's it's a wild
It's it's a different story. This is like if you're in face-to-face contact at dinner, hanging out, what is the rule of thumb?
I think it would depend on how relevant the media is. So because while yes, the video game came out 10, 15 years ago, it is currently relevant in the fact that it is now a TV series. So don't talk shit about it.
Yeah.
So
even if it's something old that isn't currently on TV, I think it's common courtesy to ask the room, anyone who isn't within earshot, has everyone seen this or know what happens? Like, I think that's just common courtesy.
And we're really good with that. Even if it's been out for God knows how long, everyone's like, did you see this before I like, or do you care if I talk about it? Like, like, because people be like,
the only thing that is like universally like okay to spoil because it's just so common knowledge would probably be Darth Vader. That might be the only.
But which part of Darth Vader? Like Vader being Luke's dad or Anakin turning into Vader?
I would say the first one.
Luke,
yeah, because honestly, like if I had Anakin turning into Vader spoiled for me and I had never seen those movies, I'd be pissed.
100%.
I'd be pissed.
And I think that one is more. The first one is so culturally ingrained into just the basic knowledge of Star Wars. I think that like that one is
it's a cultural reference. Even if you've never seen Star Wars, you know that. I mean,
outside of that, I can't really think of another thing like that level that I would like be like, oh yeah, pretty much everyone already like that one's obvious. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Like I would be more shocked if someone didn't know that than I did if they did. Like that's the type of level. Everything else that I can think of, I don't know. I'm sure there are others, but I can't.
Like, I mean,
even Curtis, even that one, I still kind of think
it would have been.
Andy's Sixth Sense one is also like that one's also
that's a good one too.
That's a big cultural.
It would have been so different if the show wasn't being made. Like if it was just a video game,
then whatever. Like,
but because the show it's literally the day of the fucking finale.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be getting a season 2, obviously. Like, just don't.
Yeah.
Like, just don't. You just never know. You never know. Okay, I have a couple super chats I want to read on this topic, so I'm going to bring those up real quick. Tim Sim got the first one here. As someone who also got spoiled on several things before seeing it, I get the feeling, Jake, the hustle to see those movies or shows and play those games immediately before spoilers spread is getting bad. Mm-hmm. I take the game out of that equation, Tim, just personally, but I understand the movie and show thing. Games are a different atmosphere. It's a whole different thing.
Because not everyone has access to
it. And like for me, I don't have a PlayStation. So and I don't do PC games, so I can't play The Last of Us.
Yeah, so you wouldn't know anything that's God of War because
I wouldn't know any of that because I have an Xbox and I haven't picked up the Xbox in a little bit. So it's all just really personal preference. Mike K's got the next one. I've said this plenty of times before reading spoilers, but for me personally, I don't watch movies or shows for what I watch for the why and how. That's why spoilers don't bother me. And I know a lot of people that do not care about spoilers. Like I said, there were 6 of them an hour ago on our Patreon call. So
they went through the whole plot of Scream 6.
Yeah, we just spoiled everything. Yeah.
Oh, I would have been furious. Good thing I showed up.
Well, we asked everybody before we talked.
Yeah, we always go like, is everyone cool? Like,
I saw I saw a spoiler of The Rise of Skywalker. I don't remember when I saw it, but I heard rumors that there was one floating around, and I went looking for it. I was like, I don't care, I want to see it. And it was just a picture of Ben Solo with the lightsaber. And I was like, yay, good. I figured that would happen.
So we're just doing it at this point. I think that you are a absolute, and I'm not saying this about our friend. I think that if you are trying to get attention for spoiling something, I think you are literally just an absolute dick.
Yeah.
Like you are like, so I don't give a crap. Come at me. So like personally, Campia is the like the Spider-Man stuff.
Oh God.
That is unforgivable to me. Like trash. I think that someone that does that, that's a whole different level too. Like you are an absolute asshole for that, for doing something like at that level. There's a difference.
Got so much attention for it
exactly.
too.
That's why he did it.
Like doing it for attention is different than doing it on accident. Like and
he slapped his watermark over the top of the image.
Yeah, like,
exactly.
What the fuck?
Like, because he knew they would get shared around.
Yeah,
everybody.
So like,
and then wonders why they're not invited to premieres anymore. Like,
for me, God, there's a difference between knowing what you're doing and not.
Yeah.
Like, just because you know something before other people, or just because you watched it before other people, does not give you the right to blast it where you know it's going to spoil it for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Oh, that's the world we live in. Like, no, that's just you being an asshole. Like, if I know I have friends or people that watch what I watch, I'm not assuming they all watched it at the exact same time that I did. So if they didn't, I can spoil it for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had to wait 2 months until Jill saw Andor. So, like, we had to stay quiet.
That's true.
I wouldn't have cared.
I'm sorry, Brian. I don't mean to cut you off, Brian. I had to make a joke.
I wouldn't have cared. I would have been like,
it's just for me, like, just because you saw, well, I mean, I wouldn't go to, Jake, what's the last movie we went and saw together?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Okay. Just because Jake and I went to the midnight premiere of Ant-Man doesn't mean I'm going to go out there and spoil the post-credit scenes immediately after I saw it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. It's like,
some people just get a rise out of it. Some people just like being trolls.
Do you guys remember it was the night of The Force Awakens, and the guy came screaming out of the theater saying Han dies, and he got beat up for it inside the theater?
Good.
Yeah.
Jacob almost got his ass beat after when we went and saw Spider-Man. Do you remember this story?
Mm-mm.
So Jacob and I were walking back to our cars after Spider-Man. What's the
No Way Home?
One? No Way Home. And we're walking down the street of Sacramento, and there was just literally one person coming by us, and he literally just goes, "I can't believe they had the balls to kill off her," saying the person out loud. And the dude walking by literally went, "Are you kidding me? Like this, I'm walking there right now," and like got kind of like argue like in our faces.
That's why I tell Sean, don't talk about the movie until we're in the car.
Exactly.
Like there's no need to. Like if there's people around, you never know. You really just never know who has seen what, who plays video games or doesn't play video games, who watches which shows. It doesn't matter. Like Molly said at the very beginning, it's the common courtesy to just ask. Yeah. It's one simple question. Have you seen this? Mm-hmm. Or have you played this? It takes 5 seconds. It's not that hard.
And if you get so excited about a moment and you need to talk about it, text your friends who have also seen it. You don't need to blast it on social media for people who haven't seen it. Like, congratulations on being a dick, I guess. Like, you can talk about it excitedly amongst your peers who have also seen it.
Yeah, people just want attention online. Like you said, the biggest moments that are going to be considered spoilers are also going to be the biggest moments for content creators to put out into the universe, which is like, I was going to bring this up. For us, the hardest thing that we had to deal with spoilers is like thumbnails.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because
it's such a tricky line.
There's so many channels out there that will blast huge spoilers on their thumbnails like minutes after the episode airs. God. And they will get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. Even though people are like in the comments, like, not cool, man, you spoiled it.
And then they're commenting, they were giving them more, like.
Doesn't matter. They get more views because their thumbnail had something shocking and spoilery in it. Whereas people who are a little bit more courteous are like, boring thumbnail, don't care.
Yep.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's a very frustrating line.
We know people that put on the stupidest thumbnails and get bajillions of views, and like, it's just, I'll never understand it. I mean, TikTok's even kind of that bad too, because I've multiple times been just going through it, and just like the person literally just goes, I don't know, Darth Vader being Luke's father. Like, that's literally the swipe. Like, it hasn't even finished hitting the top.
So you can't even avoid it.
Yeah, and someone's screaming it out, and it's just like, you're just being an asshole to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way around it.
People will do anything for attention, because that's
Jake, I mean, I would have been the same if I hadn't known that one thing.
I was thinking about it all day long. Like, I legit was thinking about it all day long.
I'm sure.
I'm still like, even when we first started talking about it, I was kind of just like shaking a little bit, because it makes me so mad that I now know that.
Yeah.
And I get it in the grand scheme of things. And, you know, I talked to you guys about it, and I talked to my good friend Shaw about it too. I told him, like, dude, like, because he texted me. He always texts me on Sunday. Let me know when you watched it. Let me know when you watch it. I told him, I said,
cute.
This happened. Don't know if I'm going to watch it. Like, I'm just letting you know right now. And we talked about it, and he goes, look, it sucks, but in the grand scheme of things, like, there's a lot more to what happens.
Exactly.
That when you do see it will be okay, which I understand. But just right now in the moment, I'm mad. I'm frustrated.
You're
I'm on
allowed
the soapbox. And so,
valid.
Curtis,
thank you for allowing me my soapbox, everybody.
Yes, Curtis, I was going to actually ask that if you guys could hear it.
Andy heard it. He commented last night. I saw it.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, it was in the. I'm pretty sure it was in the stream. So
maybe we should mute.
Wait, were you streaming when this happened?
They were streaming their Oscars.
We were live watching the Oscars.
Oh.
That's even
so you
worse.
can probably hear Jake yelling.
Yeah. If you want to hear me get mad, I'm sure they could have heard me say something.
I don't know if I want to hear Jake get mad, because I can't imagine Jake mad. It would just I don't know how I would.
Are you crazy? It's so.
I don't want to. What
are you saying, Brian?
I'm stopping myself there.
Brian, I was stunned when Jake said, I want to be the first to do the soapbox segment, because I was like, what? Okay. I thought it was
going to be. That is funny that you weren't the first soapbox person.
I wasn't. It was Jake.
I took advantage of it.
The last person I thought would be the person to be first for the soapbox. So I did that. I'm happy.